Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Bristol Motor Speedway. The last great Coliseum here is going to play host to race number 5 for the YESCAR Truck Series. And we've had a pretty interesting run of the first 4 races here, but it's going to get a little dicey here tonight. We got 30-plus trucks here on tap. We got 100 laps. We got the concrete half-mile of Bristol. This is going to be fun. Carl Hamwork joined in the booth by Joe Sullivan. Joe, a little short track action here tonight, and I'm feeling these boys are wanting to get a little racy here tonight.
Oh yeah, you know Bristol's gonna get rough and rowdy out here tonight with these guys. I mean, it's already one of those tracks, short tracks and high banks, fast tracks. So it's gonna get it's gonna get tight out there. Real estate is gonna be hard to come by in at this race here tonight for these boys. It's gonna be Bristol's one of my favorite tracks. One of my favorite short tracks. So it's a great place. I mean, it always provides really good racing too. Like, really good side-by-side battles. I mean, even in, the NASCAR days, Dale put on quite a show here, several times. So, we'll see which one of these drivers can come out on top tonight, and maybe we can get somebody new to winner's circle here tonight, or one of these guys who has already won a race or two, continue their dominance.
So Bristol is a little unique in the fact that it's got 2 pit roads. It's got the pit road on the front stretch and the one on the back stretch, and there's kind of 2 different configurations that you can run. You can run it as 2 separate pit lanes or one long continuous one, which is the way that the drivers at the YESCAR Truck Series are going to be doing it tonight. It's going to be one long continuous pit road. So how big is that when it comes to your qualifying effort? How big is it that you want to qualify on that front stretch?
Oh, that's incredible. You have to be able to, it's just such an advantage to be, even at most tracks, it's an advantage to be up at the front. But even now, since you kind of cut the pit road in half and put the other side on the backstretch, I mean, that's just, you got to get in and out, and hopefully you're not around too much traffic and cause any problems, because it's tight on pit road too. I mean, it's going to be tight out on the track. It's going to be even tighter on pit road when these guys have to come down and get tires or fuel or whatever it may be here tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I feel like qualifying in a top 5 anywhere where you can, when you leave your pit box and you can basically speed all the way out of pit road, and in the sense that you don't have to worry about going over the speed limit. I think that's really big. It's one less thing you kind of have to worry about, one less thing you can screw up in a sense, because when you're back there, say like midway through the through any of the pit boxes here, but when you have the speed, you're trying to get all the way up to the pit road speed as quick as possible, but all it takes is just going over a little bit and you get banged with a 40-second penalty and a drive-through, or whatever the penalties may be. So for me, getting one of those first couple pit stalls where you can just hammer down on the gas, get out there, not have to worry about the pit road speed, that's kind of key.
Yeah, and also on this other side of that is when you pit in the back or on this backstretch, when you're coming around to exit the pits, you got guys pulling out in front of you too, and it always gets dicey when 2-3 trucks or cars come out at the same time, and then everybody's trying to get to the wall or get to the right, and then you may have to slow up for somebody, or get a little bit of contact here and there. So it's crucial to get up front here and qualify up front.
We'll take a look at the point standings as they're running after 4 races. Again, a win, it locks you in, and Tyler Helso's got 2 of them so far this season, winning the race at Atlanta and at Phoenix. But he also got Ituckness and Big Duke winning races, as well as Duke winning the season opener. So, I mean, those 3 are locked in. They got nothing, really necessarily to worry about. They can let their hair down, and they can try and race for another win, and just, all the glory of the win, and not have to worry about anything else. They're locked in. But all these other drivers still looking to grab their first win on the season and lock themselves in.
Yeah, and I mean they're racing for each race here has a payout too. So each race has its own reward, even though that some of these guys are locked in. But you see the point standings there. Another guy who's trying to lock himself in, who we're going to be talking to here tonight, is Jeff Byers. He's got speed, he's fast at almost all these tracks. He just needs to have a little luck fall his way, I think, here.
Well, I think another thing too is a big payout is, yeah, of course you want to make the playoffs, but the reason these drivers that are already locked in are still fighting hard and still trying to drive hard is that there's a payout for the regular season champion as well.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably, there's so many great people involved with this series and putting their money out there and providing so many different payouts. I mean, you got the pole award, the Desert Rose Bowl award, the most game positions, the cleanest race. I mean, the regular season championship. I mean, there's just so much being, so much goodness throwing these guys' ways here for this series.
Well, the drivers are out there in their warm-ups right now and just about ticking away. So we'll bring in our pre-race reporter here tonight, and it is going to be the driver of the 45. That is Captain Killam, Jeff Byers. Jeff, we have you in the booth here. You got a copy?
I got you.
All right, buddy. Well, you've been enjoying a pretty good season so far, and a lot of success. Have not cracked through for that win just yet. I know you really wanted it last week. You really wanted to break through at the home track, but we come here to Bristol, 30-plus trucks, 100 laps. What are your thoughts? What are your concerns?
Well, I love Bristol. It can provide some excellent racing. It's always intense. Every lap is intense. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a race of attrition. We'll see who survives the chaos. Hopefully we can get in a lot of green flags and really slice and dice it up there.
Well, this is race number 5 here on the season, and like I said, you've been having some good success. Looks like you have some more success here in qualifying. Going to be starting up front. We talked a little bit beforehand about the pit road here. You guys are running the single pit road, even though there's 2 on the track here. How big is it qualifying up front? I mean, do you feel like that's that's a real plus getting all the way up front in that front stretch pit stall?
Absolutely. I think the pit stall matters. I think being up front as far as if there's any incidents or whatnot, being able to avoid them and hopefully reduce our chances of being caught up in something. So I'm actually happy that we qualified up front. I was worried in practice because we weren't really putting the laps down that we wanted, but we did a lot better in qualifying, so I'm good with that.
All right, well, we'll wish you luck out there before we let you go and send you down to the track. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
So, one, I'm going to shout out my chat. They are absolutely wild and having a blast over here. 2, Keith says yes for putting this together. You guys always for putting on a good show. Big Duke for heading a lot of this stuff up, and all of the other guys that are involved in the administrative part of this. And all the drivers, man, for having a lot of fun.
All right, well, hopefully you guys have some fun out there tonight. We're certainly going to be looking forward to it. So we'll let you get out there, and maybe we'll talk to you after the race.
Sounds good. I hope so.
That is the driver of the 45, Captain Killam, also known as Jeff Byers. I get his government name, Jeff Byers.
I know it's got to be kind of weird calling him by his stream name and then Tuckness, iTuckles. But I mean, I like how you can change your name in the leagues and stuff, and it adds a little bit of spice, and some guys have to show their personality as as a great football coach said, show that personality and then let the guys do what they want to do. I just noticed that there's a football field on the infield here, so with football starting tomorrow, that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Well, what is going to be real cool is these drivers are done with their warm-ups. It's about time to take a look at tonight's starting lineup, and we'll take a look at the qualifying results here. It is iTuckles on the pole, another pole for him here tonight with a 14.231. Tyler Helsel, 2-time winner this season, is in second. And, well, just the top 3. You see them in gold. That means they have a win. They are locked themselves into the playoffs. Really easy to find the top 3 when they're starting 1, 2, 3 here. iTuckles, Tyler Helsel, Big Duke, your top 3. And then you got Captain Killam, Matthew Hott, making up your top 5. You got Maxwell Shade, Francisco Villarreal, Michael Funkhauser Jr., Joshua Delaha, and Chris Gutierrez rounding out your top 10. Chris Melton, James Wagoner, ZM Racing, Dylan Jacobs, Corey Sherman, your top 15. Kevin Martin, Joshua King, Keith says yes. iRace inside, Derek Cat, your top 20. Rounding out the rest of the field is going to be Cody Brewer, Riley Romeo, Scott Gilroy, Charles Abert, Austin Smith, Paul Lawson, Vincent Pagano, and then the rest not putting any times in here, but Tyler Bryan should be in the field here. Keith Powell, obviously he'll be in the Key Says Yes nameplate. Joshua Laughlin, Kyle Roberts, and Scott Boyer. Again, a ton of trucks out here. It is a great showing once again, and it's just a testament to everything that they're putting forward here at the YESCAR Truck Series. And it's going to be a good one here. I'm looking forward to it. It's Bristol. It's short track racing. Is it going to get a little dicey? Is it going to get a little crazy? Is there going to be a couple cautions? Most likely. Certainly sit in, grab your popcorn, grab your beverage, get ready for some action. And we've already got some interesting action here, as I don't see Big Duke out there. It looks like Big Duke has missed the start of this race. So he's going to be starting from pit lane, so that's going to shift everybody up there from third place on back. So that's just got very interesting. So behind Tuckles, Tyler Helzel on that front row here, and the laps aren't taken away. It's just something that SDK does. It's counting the laps right now, but it'll go back down to 1 once we get this thing fired off. But Joe, 100 laps here. I mean, obviously, if you're up front, you're probably trying to just get out there, get away. If you're anywhere from 4th or 5th on back, is the plan just hold your breath and survive?
Yeah, I mean, you get past the top 4 here, I believe, and you're just trying to take it easy a little bit and then get settled in somewhere. You know, whether you get in behind somebody or in front of somebody, just get settled in. We're going green.
We are racing off into turn number 1, and see some of the cars as looks like Keepal coming out there as well. With a good start for the drivers. We'll get the track map up here, and iTuckle's already a half-second gap on the field over Tyler Helzel, Captain Killam in 3rd, Villarreal, hot ear, top 5.
And that's just, I don't know what happened there to Big Duke, but that's just unfortunate. I mean, to be able to qualify 3rd, and then now you are 29th. I mean, you talk about just losing all kinds of track position. Yellow flag. We got caution on the speedway.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I was gonna say it, he's got a hot, fresh new paint on that truck right here. But it looks like the paint scheme might have been something that kept him in there. But I don't think it was him that was involved. I believe.
Oh, it was Keith.
Where is it? Let's try that one more
It
time.
looks like he may have had a equipment failure.
That truck gets up to the top there, and you see he's just stuck up there, and
there he is.
that's going to bring out our first caution. It's showing that Captain Killam had an incident here too. We'll take a look up front here and see if anything happened. Might have been under the yellow. Oh no, actually right there.
Oh no!
3rd place.
So that was what the caution was.
That is the caution. That's going to help out.
Oh man!
And there's a few things popping up. We'll take a look one more time here, see if this ends up being an issue as well. This was right behind Captain Killam. We'll see. And yeah, actually tandem spinning here, bringing it out here. So the 24, that's probably right there what's going to bring it out. So
that's what it was.
Man, I mean. Wow. We said
wow.
Joe, we said from 4th on back, or behind 4th. 3rd place and 4th place just spun out at the same time. So apparently from behind 2nd place is where you need to worry about it. But looks like Villarreal did a good job there, holding up in time, getting that truck sideways, and no damage done. I can't say the same for Captain Killam. Looks like he got to the inside wall a little bit there, but. We'll bring it back live here. This will bring us under our first caution of the night, and a few takers into pit lane towards the back of the field. Obviously, Big Duke coming in since he was already at the back of the pack. Actually, he did not come in. He was in pit road to start with, but Villarreal in the pits, and looks like Captain Killam is actually going to stay out there. We'll take a look at his truck, and you can see The front end is certainly pushed in just a little bit. We'll try and get a better look at it.
Yeah, well, I wonder if guys are kind of mixed up with the single pit road too, or if they just missed a spot there because you have to enter on the back.
And here's you see that the whole front end there pushed in pretty flat. The hook wrinkled up there a little bit. But Joe, we're on a short track. How much is that damage necessarily going to hurt him?
The damage ain't gonna be too bad. It's just if he lost any engine power here, because that's gonna be the big thing is the engine power, which he may need to lose a little bit, getting loose off the turn there, off turn 4. But still, I don't think you really care about too much about the wrinkles, the not having it aero good, but you just worry more about the damage to the engine here. So I wonder if he's gonna come in and try to get some of it fixed, or use that fast repair, which you don't want to do on lap 9 of a 100 lap race.
And again, this is a short track, and when we talk about there's probably going to be some cautions, but again, these guys are on an X limit. They can only have so many X's before they are DQ'd from the race. So you got to be careful out there.
True.
And it's very easy.
It's like 15, isn't it? I think it's not 17.
Take a look here real quick. 22. Yeah,
22,
I was gonna say I thought I did see he bumped it up here for tonight. It is 22 for tonight, but we are back racing here at Bristol, starting lap number 10. So even with the caution, Joe, we're a tenth of the way through this race already. So I mean, a few more of those, it's going to take us to the halfway point. So it's going to click off very quickly. Again, these laps are, sub 15-second range under green flag conditions, but even under caution, you're getting these laps clicked away in less than a minute, about 3/4 of a minute. So see a bit of a better start this time from Tyler Helzel, and he is all over the backside of Ituckles. But the question is, can he pass? Looking for the outside here. We're going to be under caution again. This time looks like it's towards the back. Might be the 31 of Paul Lawson. He certainly turned sideways. Going to pull it right back out right in front of the leaders. It'll get that Raptor number 31 turned back around. We'll take a look and see what happened here for the 31. You see right back behind, close to contact there between Keith Says Yes and Joshua Laughlin, but right there.
Oh, he gets loose in the entry there. Play a little bit too much rear brake.
And I'm not sure Keith's seen him right away. Gets into the back of him. Helps him around a little bit. He might have been able to save it, but Keith just wanted to make sure, you know what, no, you're spinning here. I'm tired of seeing it. Gave him a couple of shots there and got that 31 around, but it looked like pretty clean all together. I mean, it didn't look like too much damage there to the front of the 304 or the back of the 31. We'll take a look at it one more time here.
Yeah, just a little bit of left rear damage on a 31, and I'm not sure if the 304 got too much at all, if anything.
Let's try this again, and
there we go.
And full speed. Let's see how quick it happens here. You see the side of it. You hear him lock up, but just a little bit too late before he gets into him. So that'll bring us under another caution here at Bristol. Up front, it is still Ituckles, Tyler Helzel, Matthew Hott, Maxwell Shade, and Michael Funkhauser, your top 5. Then you got Wagoner, Balaha, Melton, ZM Racing, and Corey Sherman making up your top 10. A few more takers to pit road that time, but all in all, I think these drivers are realizing track position. You absolutely need it, especially if these yellows are going to be flying left and right. You see Big Duke has worked himself up to 23rd since the start of the race, and he has avoided the 2 incidents so far, but that's going to be big. You need to avoid any kind of issues here. And looks like the 31, even though he got back going kind of right in front of our leaders, it may be credit him with being behind the leaders. He may end up losing a lap here and have to go to the tail end. So he's going to be battling with He Says Yes to try and get back on the lead lap here. They're the only 2 that are showing 1 lap down right now out of the 30 trucks in the field. But we've got a long way to go yet. We've got still another 84 laps to go, and still waiting to get the green flag on this one.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about, I mean, the top two here seem to have, you know, pretty good pace. And that first run we had, the 94 kind of took off and was, I mean, a half a second on Tyler Helsel here. But then on this next little run we just had, the Ford wasn't letting him get away. And he was looking to do something there and try to get this lead. So I think they're both pushing pretty hard right now. But I think the Ford realized how fast 94 is and didn't want him to, you know, just run away with it there. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of restart they both get here, and if these other guys in the back are just saving their tires, and can they stretch it the full 100 miles here, or will they have to pit, you know, depending on how many cautions we end up getting here.
Well, and the question is, can he make the pass? I mean, you see him go towards the high side there. Not sure if he was just, you know, trying to set up a pass because the caution came out right away, but it's not going to be easy. Ituckle's stuck to the bottom right there, and with fresh tires, it's going to be difficult to try and make any kind of pass, but we're back under green here. Another great restart by our front two, and Ituckle's again trying to get away, but here comes a big run by Helsel. He shoots it to the outside, trying to take that exit away from him. Not going to get there. Not close enough to dive to the bottom, but we're going to have another caution.
Right off turn 2.
Towards the back of the pack. We got the big one in the back here.
Duke's in it. Jet Byers in it. The 19, Joshua King.
Try and take a look at what happened here, as there were plenty of trucks involved.
Oh.
Looks like it was the 60 there of iRacing side and getting into the 21 of Derek Cat.
Action.
And that is right there where
more front end damage for the 45.
Captain Killam gets involved. And I mean, I guess he's made the truck last at this point, so now maybe is a time for the for the faster pair. But you see trucks still coming into the picture here. And a lot of them doing a really good job finding just that little gap to get on through. And you got to credit the drivers involved here that did spin out. You see Joshua King here just locking it up, just holding it completely steady and letting these trucks figure out where they need to go. As you see right there, Big Duke is spun around. We'll take a look again at the yellow flag from his point of view.
Look like, see, he had some contact too from somebody. Yeah, see him spinning. Everybody checking it out, trying to find somewhere to go here.
And here he locks up, but
ooh, he got.
Yeah, not sure
he
if
got some help from behind.
Yeah, if he got tangled or what the case was. Try and look at that again from another camera view. You see 3 wide right in front of him, and that's scary enough. Let alone when you see the trucks getting sideways in front of you.
Yeah.
He dives out of the bottom here, and he might have got help from the 8 truck.
Trying to get through there.
And now it looks like he actually just loses it on his own there. Just get a little loose on the apron.
Down there in the marbles, yeah.
Yep.
Gunned her up too much trying to get through there and not get hit, and then he ended up losing it. Oh,
and that Jet Byers gets it in pretty hard there from Captain Killam. But
he's
I mean,
got to be in to get his fast repair now. I mean, that front end is mangled on both sides and can't steer, I'm sure.
After looking at it initially and then, kind of rewatching it a couple times, it looked like there was about 17 trucks involved in this wreck, but realistically, maybe, 3 or 4 that were legit involved in this wreck. The rest are just lucky to have made it through there. But again, we are clicking away the laps, and when we get this thing back started, we're going to be a quarter of the way through this race already. So it's going by quickly, and that doesn't exactly bode well for the drivers, because typically in a race like this where the laps are going by quickly because it's under caution, that's when drivers end up getting more aggressive, because they realize, well, it's green, now is my only chance to pass, because obviously you're not passing under yellow. You start seeing a little bit more cautions, and that's ultimately why the saying cautions breed cautions typically comes into play.
Yeah, and I mean, just what's those numbers at the first 2 positions? They're gold. They're locked in. These guys behind them, they got to find a way around them. Well, if we just keep having these cautions, I mean, they're not going to be able to get it, to race it out. So they got to clean this up and try to make some moves up here and knock one of these two guys off and knock themselves and put themselves in the playoffs along with them.
Yeah, again, I mean, they're already locked in the playoffs. They're obviously still fighting for the regular season championship and to grab that cash as well. But we're going to be back under green once again. Again, iTuckle's back on the loud pedal. We're racing again. A good start there from Helzel, but also a good start there from Hans. He stays with the front two for at least a couple turns, but now you see again the front two taking off, jumping out to a nice early lead, and we'll see if the 4 has anything, if he has the time to get to the back of the 94. But Helzel is starting to lose a little bit of ground on this restart.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's just maybe content here and maybe let him see if he can't use his stuff up in case we do go, a long green flag run here. Oh, there we go. We got another caution.
And we won't. It looks like possibly
Duke involved. Chris
47 is involved. Big Duke is involved as well.
There goes the leaders. Because Duke was already 1 lap down, I believe.
Looks like I think this might have actually started. Yeah, Gutierrez gets sideways.
Self-spin. We've seen a lot of this in practice. These guys having trouble getting these trucks launched off the corners here. It was really slimy.
The 002, the 19, the 78, all involved right there. But I'll tell you who was not involved. This key says yes. That was, I mean, he's got a stick of butter out the window trying to grease that thing up, coming up to that caution. We'll take a look at that one more time from the cockpit here, and you see it was. We'll show you in real time and show that he tried to move up to the top, but there was already a truck up there, and just easy as you like it right there, just right on by, no worries, not holding his breath, just cool as a cucumber.
He had it the whole way. Wow.
Missed it by that much.
That's a great shot right there. Well, after his early trouble, he managed to get through that one and pass a couple trucks here and got himself up to, looks like he took the pit road.
He is 1 lap down, as is King, Laughlin, and then Big Duke now 2 laps down. Lawson 3 laps down. Romeo 9 laps down. Looks like Romeo may end up being out of this race, or at least he's taking some time getting that truck fully repaired. But up front, it's still the same. It is iTuckles and Tyler Helzel at the front. Matthew Hott, Maxwell Shade, James Wagoner, your top 5. Then you got Michael Funkhauser Jr., Chris Melton, Corey Sherman, ZM Racing, and Joshua Dalaha, your top 10. Again, Joe, already on lap 30. We've only had maybe 5, 8 maybe laps of green flag racing. We're already a third of the way through this race.
Yeah, and I was just looking at that. I was just kind of surprised. I wonder why we are not pitting yet. I mean, obviously, I think they're probably making on some more cautions here, but or are they just going to maybe try to ride it out until they are in their, in the green to make it to the end, or like could we possibly just go nonstop here without getting any kind of fuel? I mean, I think what are they? They're like 40%, so I'd imagine at least one stop here. I know it's 100 laps, so.
Well, the problem is, I mean, I guess some of the guys towards the back, you could come in right now, but if you're anywhere inside the top 10, I'm with them. I'm not coming in at all. I'm staying out here as long as possible, because if you come in and take that fuel and those tires last to the end, if you get another caution later, you're going to be back there and possibly outside the top 20 because you came in the pits. If there's a quick caution, all the guys in front of you can now come into the pits and they're going to have fresher tires than you. So yeah, this is one of those situations where if they need to make a pit stop, it's tough to try and make that guess as to when you want to come in, especially if you're the leader, you're one of these top 5 guys. But we're going to get it back green flag racing again here. Pace car is off once again, and it is green flag racing again here at Bristol.
Lucille kind of starts at 94 and 4 get here. They're kind of checked out from the top, from the rest of the field here.
2 and 3 wide racing all through the field here. But out front, a little bit of the same and a little bit of the same as the 60 now. iRacing side is spun sideways, and we will go under another caution here. We'll see what brought this one out. And again, I think this is just... Ooh, that was... You seen that happen right there. That was just a big drift to the outside. Not sure if he lost it a little bit and had to try and save it while it went right up into the 33 of Austin Smith, and hard impact to the inside wall.
Yeah, it looked like that left front dipped on him, and that kind of just threw the whole weight of the truck off and got him loose, and he tried to catch it, and it just snapped there. As he's already been involved in an earlier incident with a 19, that big one there that we had.
Take a look at that one more time, and yeah, really off the corner. It just goes straight up the track on him.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of the wheel input there on the coming out of turn 4 there. A lot of wheel movement and getting that truck off balance, and
luckily for Kevin,
to chase it up the track.
For Kevin Martin and Francisco Villarreal, they were able to scoot right on by as the 60 kind of self-cleaned himself down to the bottom of the track, and no other trucks involved in this one. But certainly some work to be done here on the 60.
Yeah, I wonder if he still has that fast repair, or if he's already used it from that earlier incident he had.
And again, these drivers afforded a little bit more leeway. Typically, it's I believe it's 15x that they normally work with, but tonight 22x is the max. So, you know, these drivers, if they're getting into these incidents left and right, they can end up seeing the old truck before they really want to. Getting in the bigger truck instead of the truck that they're in right now. But see, 4 tires, looks like a fresh truck there for the 60. He did have a fast repair available. He's going to get back down and back at it before the pace car comes by. So he will stay on the lead lap, just be marred in the back and have to race his way through. But again, I keep bringing up, we're now on lap number 38. The laps are ticking away very, very, very quickly, and you get in one of these incidents, you get put towards the back of this field, you feel a sense of urgency, and again, that's where just mental mistakes and things come into play very easily, very quickly, and that's where we have more and more cautions, and the cautions aren't going to help you. You want that thing to go green. I mean, you have to be aggressive maybe to get through this field, but just a little bit too much aggression, you're either involved in one of those yellows or you're causing a yellow, and you're going to be stopped right there. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, just take our 3rd and 4th place guys earlier, Jeff Byers and Francisco. I mean, they were running 3rd and 4th, and then they both spun there and had to go to the back. And we're almost halfway through this race, and Francisco's he's only up to 15th right now. Byers is back up to 18th, but we're halfway through, and that's as far as they've gotten here. So you get shuffled to the back. It's a long road to get up there if they keep having these cautions.
So we did get word before the race that it's not us. It is Tyler Helsel. He's the one that doesn't have a mic, that doesn't care to be interviewed after the race. So we've tried to get him in here, and we just told Big Duke, just tell him stop winning, and we don't have to worry about interviewing him afterwards. But he's trying his damnedest to try and get another win here on the season, but he's got to deal with Tuckles here. Going to be the control truck again. Another good restart by the 94. He's going to slide up there. It's again another 2-truck race at the front as they stretch out immediately from the rest of the field.
Yeah, these guys are on a different pace than the rest of these trucks here. I mean, unless the 3rd on back is just saving, but they're putting down qualifying laps. They're so fast.
Take a look at Captain Killen trying to work his way back through the field. Battling right now with Scott Gilroy. We finally got the correct paint on him this week. It looks like last week we, for some reason, trading paints was not working right, at least on our end, to show that beautiful paint scheme that he's got on there.
Ooh, big check. I think the 47 had to get out of it there for a second. Francisco, he's knocking on the top now. He's into the top 10 now, up to 9th now.
We've got another
we got a yellow.
caution here. Trying to see, it looks like a few drivers involved in this one. And this look, it could be the end of the night for the 77. And right there, getting loose right in the entry of the corner. The 12, you see the 12 tried to lock up, and unfortunately gets into him. Tyler Bryan gets into the 77 of Riley Romeo. And then coming out of the corner, the 19 and the 002. The 002 gets into the 19 hard, and that is a major, major impact there for the 19, the 002, and the 77. And look at the 13 trying to lock it up, and unfortunately he's on the same trajectory as the 77, so a little insult to injury there for Riley Romeo there at the end. But that looks like it's probably going to be the night for the 77 as he tows it back to pit lane. Going to be under another caution here, and looks like he is at least in pit lane, but so are a few others. We got a few others coming into pit lane this time. Granted, a few of them have some damage that they're looking to take care of, but it's one thing that could really throw this thing off. If they do need to make a pit at some point in this race, one or two or three of these drivers that were involved in the incidents that are in there getting those repairs, getting those fresh tires, getting that gas in there, they can end up pulling a flyer if this thing ends up going green at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's I wish we had that knowledge to figure out what's going on there, but some strategy to be played here. As it seems like, I mean, nothing has shown me anything so far that anything's got anything for the 94 or the 4, so it seems to be one of their races to win here. It's just going to be a matter of which one, but maybe a strategy call here will get somebody else up front here.
Yeah, maybe we can hop on up already with the 94 here, but I'm not seeing any gauge, any dashes here, so can't see how much fuel he's got still in the tank here, but you hear him.
Well, he's not killing it. I mean, he may be clutching it here, but he's not killing it.
Yeah, it sounds like he is. He's clutching it at least. But yeah, these guys up front here, the 94 and the 4, have been on just another level when it comes to these restarts. I mean, they seem like they're even with everybody else on the restarts. As soon as they hit turns 1 and 2, it's like they find another gear and they just stretch out the lead into 3, 4, 5 car lengths over everybody else. And there's nothing that Hot and Melton can do right now to try and stay with them.
Yeah, it seems like as soon as we get the green flag and they get going, they don't lift until they come down into turn 3. I mean, they are just launching through 1 and 2 and getting through the gears. And we got to keep an eye on here on the 94 with these restarts too, as we've already seen this season. We get a black flag from an invalid restart. So he's been doing a great job here tonight. So I'm sure that's been on his mind a lot here so far. We got another one coming.
Well, he's the control truck this time. I think when he was on the outside is when he got the black flag for doing it. But we've got another caution here, and not sure what is bringing this one out. I think it might have actually been the 77 leaving pit road.
Oh, and he stopped?
Yeah, he stopped because he's seen the field coming, and unfortunately that triggers a yellow, so just kind of unfortunate thing right there. Well, I guess the first caution, we don't have to worry about anybody getting damaged.
They can actually get some of the damage fixed without having to fix what they just tore up, you know? They can make some progress.
But if anybody got the lucky dog there, they're certainly they got to send a thank you over to the 77 crew for getting it back on the lead lap. But we're back under caution, but we're also halfway through this race. Joe, first half of the race, marred and cautions. Do you feel like it might be a little bit of the same in the second half with everybody's aggression maybe turned up a little bit?
Yeah, probably. We may get a decent run here now, I think, and. But then I think once we get lined out and maybe get some tire wear, we can get a caution. But it looks like the 19's going to get a lap back. Joshua King, he's going to get a lucky dog. So the 19's going to send a present over the 77. But yeah, the second half is probably going to be just much the same. But you know, we got to get these boys dialed up here. But I mean, that's what we thought after the first race. The first race was kind of you know, a crash fest, but that's Daytona. That's going to happen. But then they cleaned it up, so they got it in them. They're just going to get it going here.
I mean, it's tough. You throw 30 vehicles on a track here at Bristol, at any kind of short track, it gets a little bit racy. I mean, at least in some of the other short tracks where it's a little flatter, you're all kind of going towards that same line. You can't be as aggressive and going, you know, 2 or 3 wide into the corners. But there's been some drivers making some passes. I mean, we've got a lot of big movers in the race. The biggest mover is Austin Smith right now in the 33, up 13 spots, started back there in 25th, now up into 12th. Cody Brewer started in 21st. He is up now inside at the top 10 in 10th place. And Corey Sherman started in 15th, now up to 5th. So passing is an opportunity. Passing is out there. It's just making sure you're avoiding the wrecks and all the rough situations getting through this race, and taking a look back at our drivers that started in 3rd and 4th. Actually, not 3rd and 4th, but Captain Kilman started in 4th. Was involved in the early incident where he self-spun on the front stretch. He is now back up to 16th, so a little bit of damage control.
Yeah, well, those guys who have moved up a lot, the one thing we haven't even mentioned their name because they have been avoiding this wrecks. So, I mean, that's another way how you can get these track positions, especially with all these cautions, is just to try to avoid it the best you can. And you know, they probably haven't passed too many trucks on track during green flag, you know, racing, but a lot of it has been from these guys having other trouble. I mean, we got, you know, Myers, Francisco, you know, Big Duke started up front as well. I mean, those guys, that's the adverse effect of those guys moving up all those spots, is there's going to be guys who drop that many as well.
Yeah, it's one thing where, you know, a lot of times you want your name to be announced on the broadcast. Well, then this is probably a night where you'd probably rather not, just because you're getting through there cleanly. But another clean restart here from the 94 of Tuckles. He gets away. It looked like Hot was going to challenge maybe a little bit, but once again, as soon as they hit turns 1 and 2, it is just like another gear for these two here, and right away Helzel right back on the back bumper here for the lead.
Yeah, I bet they're going to get a little racy here, because I think yellow flag. Yeah, there we go. We got another one. This could be Keith this time.
Take a look back and see how the 304 got sideways here.
Oh.
And it looked like we had a fancy to move in the inside of Gilroy, and just got a little bit loose going through the corner. And that big snap to the top, some damage to the front, but other than that, he's the only truck involved in this one.
It don't even look like it was that much. It don't look too bad. Yeah, he got a run in there. He threw it in a little bit deeper than the 99. And he got on the brakes, and he must have a lot of rear braking it, because it just spun it around like we've seen from several other trucks here tonight. They're telling me that these guys are, you know, fighting a tight issue, right? Because they're trying to get so much rear brake into it to try to, you know, get a little bit loose on entry. Must be having a little problem with these trucks being tight here.
Yeah, and it could just be, you know, that the brake bias is set up to, you know, a little bit too much rear brake bias for these drivers, and it's something that some drivers just like to hop in the vehicle and drive it the way it is. Others like to tweak it as much as they can to their liking. So it may be something that, you know, some of these drivers need to figure out. You know, there are tools that you can use. It's a shame that, you know, that we've talked about it in other series, especially on the road races, where there's so much stuff that you can change and control inside the cars. Obviously, in the road cars, you can change the traction control, the ABS, all kinds of things in there. And yeah, at least on the oval side, you can change the brake bias, and as you can on the road cars as well. But you know, any kind of tools inside the car that, you know, the driver can change, you should be able to, even in a fixed league. In an open league where you can come in there with your own setup. You can do pretty much whatever you want, but you should be able to control the in-car changes as well, even if it's a fixed series. So it's something that I know other racers that I've talked to have said that multiple times, that if I can reach up and turn a switch in the car, I should be able to.
Yeah, and I mean that just adds to the immersion of it too, so we try to keep everything to where you're actually in the truck, and if you're able to have the knowledge to make those adjustments to make your truck run better, then that gives you that advantage, which it would in real life as well. So definitely something that I use a lot. I'm always, and probably to a lot of my fault too, I'm probably messing with it too much to try to get it dialed in just right where I want it. And in some of these cars and these tracks, you're changing it from the start to the end of the run, and even from the first run to the third run if it's like a longer race. So there's a lot to be gained from the adjustments there.
Well, we are 40 laps to go, and it may take a couple attempts to do this, but I think it's about time that we crank these trucks up here on this restart and give everyone out there in CRN Nation a little love to hear it.
Green flag, green flag.
Albeit short-lived, it was good to listen to for a little bit. But we've seen it right there live. 11 getting hard impact into the outside wall. We'll take a look back and see what transpired on this caution here.
Oh, he gets a little loose and
comes up the track, maybe thinking that he was clear of Captain Killam, and then a little bit more action right behind him, but hard rear impact there for the 11 to the back end, lifting up off the ground. And then the 60 was already involved as well, and then gets a little more hard impact at the beginning of that. Take a look back here and see what exactly happened to the 60, if it was just checking up for the incident and getting involved, or if there was a little bit more going on here. And it gets a little help from Gilroy right there from behind, and then he gets into the wall pretty hard as well.
I think the 07's going to be able to sneak on by here. Yeah, there we go. He gets on by. So 60 involved in another one here.
The 07 might need to change his shorts after that one, but luckily for him, both the 60 and the 11 kind of stick to that outside wall. And bring us back live here, and once again it is back under caution here, and it's one of those situations now that can get very interesting, and it's just going to take one bingo to restart here from the 4 to kind of sneak this lead away, because we're getting these cautions so quickly. If the 4 can be on it on one of these restarts and stay alongside the 94 and get that good run through 1 and 2, and just get a nose ahead. We've seen it before. We've seen it at Phoenix earlier this year, where the race ended, and well, Tyler Elzel was a bumper in front, and that's what got him the win, and that's what could get him the lead here if he can, just absolutely bingo one of these restarts.
Yeah, because he's really going to have to be right beside him going into turn 1 and kind of keep him down on that bottom side of the track there, and take away that run off of turn 2. And if the 4 can be there and be beside his door through 1 and 2, we're going to have a drag race down the back stretch. And if he can be just ahead of him, and we'd have another quick caution, and then boom, he's the lead truck. He's the guy in charge now. And at this point, that seems pretty crucial.
Well, we're back now to 25 trucks back on the lead lap. Big Duke, the first one lap down, but remember, he was 2 laps down earlier, so he's been able to get a lap back as well. one more caution, and as long as he's not involved, he'll be back on the lead lap and can try and charge his way through. But see, he's the only gold truck, the only one that has won a race that is marked in the back. It's been Tuckles, Halzel at the front this entire race so far. Hot, Sherman, Shade make up your top 5. Then you got Funkhauser, Villarreal, ZM Racing, Brewer, and Smith in your top 10 right now. Got some big movers and shakers. The biggest mover still is Austin Smith, up 15 spots into 10th place. Cody Brewer up 12 spots into 9th. We're going to get back under green flag racing here one more time. Again, another big restart here for the 94. Halzel going to try and hang with him as much as possible through 1 and 2.
Yeah, the 4 just needs to be just a little bit closer to the 94 there on these restarts. He's so far away from him that he's just cutting away a lot of the track. And that's allowing the 94 to get that big jump here. As he's got almost to a second lead, and we're 2 laps right into this.
Yeah, huge gap here, and not sure what's happened here. The 4 on this restart, but he has not been able to hold on to the 94 at all, but he's going to get to reel him right back in. Looks like the 14 and the 60 involved, the 002 involved as well.
Yeah, parts flying everywhere down there. The fender missing from the 14 there.
Let's see what brought this one out here.
Oh,
and right there it is.
Loose. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's under braking or just entering these corners, and you see right there.
Yeah.
Keith says yes, gets into the 14, sends him hard up into the outside wall.
Okay, so he's checking up. He's checking up.
I don't think the 60 realized that there's a check up and just absolutely destroys the front end off of the 14. That could very well be the end of the night for some of these drivers, and I gotta imagine that
was Duke right there too, wasn't it? Don't wonder if he got any kind of incidents here. I think that may have been Duke right involved as well.
No, Duke's back here. The 002 was the one that was involved down here at the bottom.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I gotta imagine some of these drivers are now starting to get a little bit close to that 22 incident mark. I mean, especially the 60. I feel like there's been so much damage, though, to some of these trucks that are involved in the wrecks that they're going to run out of fast repair, going to run out of repairs, and they'll probably hit the my truck is too damaged to go on before they'll hit the 22X.
Yeah, I wish there was an incident report on SDK, but I was trying to get on in the session here and see if it would show, but it's not showing me the incidents, so I'm not sure who's at what right now. So that would be some good information to see who's close here to get that DQ. Some of these guys have got to be getting close to it.
Well, there's one thing that we're getting close to, Joe, and that is the end of this race. We are right now sitting at 28 laps to go. We're going to be close to 25 to go once this thing gets back under green, and hopefully for these drivers and let alone for everyone out there, we can get a little green flag racing in here at some point in the night to try and see what these drivers can do, if they can make some green flag runs here and green flag passes. But I don't see anybody really inside the top 14 that are too concerned about a pit stop. I mean, the guys that are inside the top 15 that are pit, Villarreal now all the way back up to 5th place after the early spin when he was in 4th place. So real great bounce back for the 24. He pit on lap number 6 to just get some probably fresh tires and top that thing off on fuel. Got the Gillum involved in the early incident, and then he was still in the back, so he came in on lap number 21 when he was involved in another incident. And then Chris Gutierrez was involved in a spin as well. He pit on lap number 30. So those are the only ones in the top 14 that have come into the pits, and that was all trucks that were involved in one thing or another. So these drivers may be good to go on fuel all the way to the end, and we're going to find out in 25 laps.
Yeah, they must be, because I thought they may have to pit, but the 24 is coming, so maybe he's got something for these guys up front. I mean, I gotta believe it's a fast truck. I know he's been probably passing guys who have been getting accidents, but I mean, he qualified up front, so we'll see what he can do if he can get up there.
Elzo blinks out. He gets back in there just in time for the restart as we are back racing. And also worth mentioning that Big Duke is now back on the lead lap as well, getting that wave around. But once again, the 94 of Ituckles putting it down here on this restart. Ford not being able to hold pace with him. As we'll take a look back through the field here, the 3 of Corey Sherman now getting into third. And you see the 24 right there, Francisco Villarreal, making the move, trying to get around into fourth place. He's going to clear the 17 coming out of turn number 4.
That 24's got something. Watch it. We got to keep an eye on him. He's got something for these boys up front here. He's been moving. He's got a little bit fresher tires probably, but I mean, not a whole lot. But
I mean, 6 laps.
Yeah.
If 6 laps of tires means that much.
This ain't Darlington.
No, not at all. Well, he's right there now as Tuckles has checked out to a 1.6 second lead already. He's so far checked out that he is almost catching the back of the pack already. Some of these slower trucks towards the back of the field. You see he is way out into the lead right now. Even going out to the blimp view doesn't really do it too much justice, but you see him coming up there on the 002 quickly to the outside, but we are under caution once more.
Looks like Keith's involved in this one. Oh, big damage to the left front of that thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Actually, this might be it right here.
Oh,
and there
yeah,
it is.
he got loose off.
Yeah,
Ooh.
loose off of turn number 4, and that thing just goes straight to the left. Big impact into the inside wall, and you may have to head over to the dealership and get himself a new truck right there, and hopefully this one right here isn't going to be for sale, because this thing is definitely an R title just to get that thing back on the lot. That thing hasn't been beaten around here a little bit tonight, but I think it's seen its last impact as he ended up towing it back to pit lane after this one.
Yeah, that one's going to the junkyard. He's probably got himself quite the junkyard going here. That's these trucks here tonight. I mean, there's going to be a pile of scrap.
Well, we've got some developments here, Joe. The 94 of Ituckles in pit lane. So possibly, maybe that's why the 4 was kind of hanging back there a little bit. Maybe not using up all that fuel. And maybe Ituckles realizes from the front that he is not going to be able to make it to the end. And he's not the only one. There are quite a few trucks in pit lane this time by. But there's also quite a few trucks that did not come in. Tyler Helzel, Corey Sherman, Francisco Villarreal, Matthew Hutt, Maxwell Shade, Captain Killam, Chris Gutierrez, ZM Racing, Tyler Bryan, Derek Catt, your top 10. None of them have come in on this pit stop. And then from outside the top 10,
wow,
they should be good to go. But wow, this is definitely a turn of events. And what do you know? One way or another, that 4 has gotten the lead, and you got to think that, I mean, once he sees that 94 turn down into pit lane, you got to go with him if you don't think you can make enough fuel. So, I mean, I guess, can the 4 make it all the way to the end? We're coming down the last few laps here, and maybe he's thinking that he can't right now, but 1 or 2 more cautions, and he can sneak this thing through.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, if you know, he's the one willing to gamble here, and Darkness was not, or was, I mean, running such a faster pace there on that last run we had that maybe he burned off too much, and now he realizes, oh crap, I definitely need at least, you know, 2 cautions for me to make it. And then what are we gonna do when we have all these green white checkers too? So you got overtime to deal with too. So if we get to that point, what's gonna happen? The 94 maybe back up front again.
Well, to give you an idea of how far back he's dropped, Big Duke now in 17th, Ituckles back in 19th. So this is a big major turn of events here late in the race. Pace car lights are out. We're going to get back going here. It's going to be 14 laps to go. But now your new front row is Tyler Helzel and Corey Sherman. Well, look who has found his way back into third. Francisco Villarreal all the way back up there again, looking for his first win on the season. Obviously, Helzo, the only one up here in the top 16 that has a win so far. So everyone else looking for that first one, but the 4 is back on the loud pedal, and we are racing again at Bristol. The question is, how hard can he push on that loud pedal? How much fuel can he burn to make it to the end? Well, he's going to have to do something, because that 24 now moves into second place, and he is on a mission.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got to go, because that 24 is coming one way or the other. And I wonder if he even has enough fuel. I know he put it on lap 6, but with the 94 pit in there, does he have will he be able to make it?
Well, he's running hard.
He's been saving any, getting through the field.
And he's not saving any right now. He is pushing to try and get up to the back of that 4 right now. Closing the gap now under 4:10, says he's running a different line than the 4 of Helzo. Helzo running all the way in the bottom. And you see that 24 using up majority of that turn to get around through here, but he's chipping away right now. This time by 10 laps to go.
10 laps to go and 0.3 of a gap
Yellow
here.
flag is out.
Oh, we got a caution.
And we will have another caution here.
Funkhauser and
Wrong button. That was my mistake on that one. Let's try and get back to that one more time.
ooh, the 8 gets loose. Oh, wow. Just nowhere for him to go. That 8 got mad loose. We haven't seen somebody get that loose in the middle of a corner all night long. It's usually been on entry or on exit. But the 8 was in the middle of the corner there, and it just around she went.
Yeah, the 8 of Kevin Martin there, and looks like the 13 of Scott Boyer are going to get along through that, just a little scrape of the wall on the outside. But the 8 of Kevin Martin and the 44 Michael Funkhauser certainly involved in that one. And that is going to get us close to a green-white checkered. I think we'll still have at least one more green flag restart here. But now the 24 is up there on the front row with Tyler Helzel. So this is getting very interesting. In the top 10 right now, Tyler Helzel, Francisco Villarreal, Corey Sherman, Matthew Hott, Chris Gutierrez, your top 5. Then Maxwell Shade, Captain Killam, all the way back up there as well in 7th place. ZM Racing 12, Tyler Bryan, and Dylan Jacobs. Tyler Bryan is now the mover in the shaker here. He is up 19 spots, started 28th in the field, and now all the way up to 9th place. I mean, what a turn of events for the 19 team, or for the 12 team here, up 19 spots, and he was involved in, I think, one of those earlier cautions as well. So heck of a job of getting that 12 all the way up through here.
Yeah, and got himself up in the top 10, so he can get some got point here. So we got 14 there on the front stretch.
Yeah, I think the 14 was looking to get around and get his wave around. Yeah, he was a lucky dog. I was trying to see. It looks like.
Oh no!
Luckily for Villarreal, he spun out around him right there. I don't think Villarreal was realizing that he had a lucky dog behind him there, but luckily he didn't get taken out by said lucky dog.
Not the TV time you want to get there.
Not at all. And then showing that Kevin Martin had a bit of an incident here too. Might have just been right there, just
a hard left.
looked like avoiding the 47 from getting involved, but he may have to go to the back of the back. That might be what the situation is there. But either way, again, it is Tyler Helzel at the front of this thing. Tuckles did make a few passes there. He is back up to 15th place. But now 5 laps to go. The pace car lights are out. It's going to be 4 to go for the restart here. Very close to a green-white checkered, and it very well could come down to a few green-white checkers here. But again, you look at that top 14. One car has a win on the season. The rest are looking for their first one to lock themselves into playoffs. Problem is, for those other 13, that one car that has the win is your leader, and he's already got 2 wins on the season.
Yeah, and he's looking for a third, but that 24 is going to be able to start on the outside here, and he's looked fast as they have shared lines here, 4 on the inside and the 24 on the outside. So if he can get a jump here, see if he can't get to his door.
And just going by iRating alone, these are the 2 top drivers in the league, both over 5,000 iRating. So who is going to get it done? Helzel again with a good restart here. Villarreal trying his best to stay with him, but we're going to have another yellow flag here, and this will bring us to green-white checker territory as the field all gets woed up. Trying to see what brought this one out. Looks like possibly the 07.
Oh, the 30 gets like the 12 loose.
We just talked about the 12 having a great run through the field. Let's take a look at it one more time now that we know who was indeed involved. It looks like the 30
just drives it in, yep.
Getting a little bit deeper into the corner than the 12. Gets him sideways, and then a little extra. Well, just, I mean, I've heard of driving through somebody, but that was a bit ridiculous right there.
19 involved again.
07 getting involved, a little brush there, possibly by the 1 getting on by. But that was some hard impact there for the 12, and that is a shame. Again, we just got done talking about him being up 19 spots inside the top 10, and now he is way down there. Got some damage back there in 23rd position. And we're coming to the end here. And take a look at who is working their way back up through there. Almost both inside the top 10, iTuckles and Big Duke. Just outside the top 10 right now. On this restart, they very well could get back in there. But we are going to have our first green-white checkered. And let's take a look at the amount here. I don't think it shows how many green-white checkers.
3. I think we get 3 because we had 3 at Phoenix, if I remember correctly.
And we may need all 3 of them just to get this thing done. But I'm sure Elza would like as little as possible. He's got this lead right now. And the question is, does he have the fuel? I mean, there's still quite a few drivers inside the top 8 right now that have not touched pit road once. And you even got Derek Cat back there.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised on these restarts that the outside line has just not been there at all tonight. Like, and not even by the time the leader gets going, he takes off, and then the guy in second on the outside there is almost a truck behind before they're not even like lined up side by side. It's the inside line has just been crushing it all night long.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily inside line. I think it's just that the leader gets, he gets the control of the restart, and these things are so powerful in those low gears that he can just fire off so quickly, and by the time the 24 can react, he's already up a gear and starting to take off.
Or are they just being extra cautious and not getting the black flag like we've seen from the night before?
Absolutely. Well, we are doubled up one more time, and I wonder if it's a little hindsight right now, but I wonder if they could have benefited from some single file restarts. But really, hasn't necessarily been the restarts that have been the issues. It's been guys just getting loose or getting a little help going into the corners once we get back going green. But this thing is going to go back green at least one more time here off the corner. The pace car is going to make that left-hand turn one more time. Pace car may have had the most laps led here tonight. Yeah. But the 4 back on the loud pedal. Great restart on the outside there from both Villarreal and from Gutierrez. But down the backstretch, they are all chasing the 4 of Helzel. If we can get there, we're going to see the white flag this time by one more lap to go here at Bristol. Helzel with about a 0.3 of a second lead. Going to be tough to catch him right now. Villarreal doing everything that he can, but barring a fuel shortage coming out of turn 4, which he won't have, Helzel picks up win number 3 on the season.
Yeah, 24 I think had something for him there, but just not enough time, not enough laps there at the end of it here. But I get a great comeback from Bennett on lap 1 or 2 or whatever it was there.
iTuckle's able to come back inside the top 10, finishing in 9th, but you gotta wonder if it was leading all those laps and being the one pushing all that air that caused him to have to come into pits. I'm not sure what the case was. Maybe it was just taking a chance of coming in and getting fresh tires, hoping that they would do something and get some green flag laps, but very possibly just threw the race away right there.
Yeah, I mean, he had some other guys pit with him there, but I don't know if it was necessarily for fuel. So I wonder what had really happened there. I mean, if we get a chance to talk to him later this season, we can ask him that and maybe look back on it and see what happened there.
Well, certainly
just kind of another one. I mean, that's back-to-back weeks, right? I mean, was up front last week, had the restart penalty, and then this week he led what 70 laps here tonight, and all for not the result he wanted.
I'm not sure the Ford has the fuel or if he's just kind of sitting down here. We know for sure we're not going to get to interview him here tonight, but he is your winner here tonight, and what a heck of a win it was. But we do have our second and third place drivers here in the winning room, and looks like he found the gear once again to try and at least get that thing going, and there we go, give us a little bit of a burnout victory. Certainly well deserved from Halsell. He did everything that he could. He could not get around that 94 under all the little bit of green flag laps that we did, but he stayed out there. He was in the right position, and maybe the right position right there for the 77 to take him out. But he was in the right position and capitalized when the 94 had to come into pit lane, and he walks away a three-time winner now. I mean, 5 races, Halsell with 3 wins.
Yeah, and dominating fashion. I mean, just that's crazy to have 3 wins already on this, this short season that we've had so far. I mean, just domination.
Well, as I said, we do have our top 3 here tonight, and we'll start bringing them in. And one of them is going to be Chris Gutierrez, and he is a driver of the 47, third place here tonight. Chris, we've seen you involved in some earlier action there, but you fight your way back. You come all the way up to a third place here tonight. Short of just being out there surviving and avoiding all the chaos out there, I mean, kind of walk us through your race. Walk us through, I guess, take a breath first after all this.
Yeah, that was an adventure for sure. I told my spotter before the race, I said, if I'm not in the top 5 in qualifying, I'm EOLing, because I just had a feeling we were at a short track. We got a lot of different skill levels here and people kind of learning how to short track race, and the setup was really sketchy. So I figured if I don't qualify top 10, I'm going to start in the back, and we just worked our way up pretty well. And then I got a little piece of whatever happened. There was one wreck where somebody got turned, and I went to the apron, and I was fine. And then somebody was spinning and right reared me, and it damaged the car more than I thought. And then the next restart, I went in the corner, spun out, and I caused a wreck. So I apologize to anybody that caught up in that. I did not realize the car was that damaged. Obviously, I used a fast repair after that, but yeah, after that, it was just about fighting back and just trying to be methodical, be smart, and be aggressive where I needed to be. And I love this track, and it's always been good to me, and it continues to be good to me.
Well, I mean, talk about that. I mean, it's easy to say that you got to be aggressive and you got to try and make your moves when you can. Well, you really didn't have that much of a chance to make those moves. I mean, it was under caution so much here tonight. Very few green flag laps here to actually make passes. So how was it you were able to kind of work your way through all the chaos and try and work your way all the way up to third place here tonight with all these caution laps?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of it was, there was a lot of wreck avoidance practice. So, running as much races as I do, I get a lot of wreck avoidance practice. So that's a useful skill to have. And then the rest of it is just kind of sizing up your opponents, see where they're strong or weak, and then run the opposite line. The thing about Bristol I love is that you can really, depending how you run the car throughout the run, you can move around. Like, you can run the bottom and you can run the top. The thing with the top is you got to be committed on those runs. Like, when you get those runs and you're coming off the corner and you're kind of giving the guy a choice, is he going to come up and try to cut you off or not? You got to have the fortitude to keep your foot in it, and if it wrecks, it wrecks. But you kind of have to sometimes, to make that work at the end, when you're in the don't give an inch mode, you get that run, and you're going to be there on exit. You guys got to trust they're going to realize it, and if they don't, it's a wreck. But you kind of have to be a little bit hardcore at the end of these things.
Well, Bristol, obviously known as the last great Coliseum, we've certainly seen a lot of bumping and banging and fighting out there tonight, but you had a hell of a fight coming all the way up through the field, finishing third. So congrats on your podium here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, I just thanks David for putting on this league. It's been fun. I think we're all learning how each other races, and I think we're all learning how to. Some of us more experienced guys are trying to politely coach some of the guys that are a little less experienced to try to make it better. I know I haven't always been the calmest on the mic, and I'm trying to work on that. Or at least after I blow up at somebody, I'm trying to calm down and explain why. But I think we got a good group of guys. They're all big race fans, and I think we've got a lot of potential for this league going forward. This was a bit of a mess, but it's Bristol. I mean, if you race officials, you know Bristol tends to be a mess. It's really close quarters. But if you're willing to kind of learn from mistakes or learn from things that happen, this is a track that can really teach you racecraft. It could teach you give and take. It could teach you car positioning. There's a lot you can learn from here. I recommend people race here because there's a lot you can learn. But David's doing a great job with this. I think we're making progress with it, and it's been fun. I'm really thankful that he invited me to come. I'm having fun. Great points night. Needed it after the disaster that I kind of caused myself last week, missing the pits the first caution, and then it was all downhill from there. So on to the next one.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers always ask for a looser car, and obviously some of the better drivers want a looser car to try and get racy with it. But when you have such a wide span of drivers and skill levels here, I think the little bit looser setup here tonight was probably more of a disaster than really guys getting into each other. We've seen a lot of self spins that started this thing. But
yeah, it was sketchy. It was a very sketchy setup. Yeah, I was like in practice, I'm like, I like a loose car, but this is ridiculous. I'm like, if I'm telling you it's too loose, it's probably too loose, because I do tend to like a looser car. But here it's like, just a little bit of freeness is good. What you don't want is you don't want to go in the corner, turn the wheel just a little bit, and the thing just decided it's going to do a 180 on you. That's not good. You can't make any speed there. But it seemed like it got better as the race went on. I think that might have something to do with it. Yeah, it was definitely an adventure, definitely a learning curve. And who knows, like I said, it's the new build, and I don't know what our weather is compared to what it'll be when we actually run officials here in a couple weeks. Actually, we'll be running the officials here. So hopefully they tighten it up just a touch, or we're going to, if you guys are out at official with me, we're all going to be hurting.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was loose as hell tonight. You finished in third. I think Duke needs to loosen it up a little bit more. Maybe get you in the top step of the podium.
Yeah, it took a lot of trial and error. It took a lot of trial. It took a lot of trial and error, and just focusing on, okay, the car's going to try to kill me, so just manage it. But yeah, it was a challenge. I enjoyed it. But yeah, coming through the field was definitely an adventure. I'll have to go back and watch it, because I feel like if I had an onboard camera, there was a whole lot of things happening in front of me in this race.
Probably a good thing we weren't hot mic'd with you as well. I'm sure it was it was nice and colorful in there too. Well,
yeah, I'm working on that. But yeah, occasionally an F-bomb slips out, but I'm working on it.
It happens to the best of us. All right, well, congrats again on the third place here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for the broadcast, guys. You guys are doing a great job commentating. I like going back and watching it, and I'll see you guys next week.
Appreciate it, buddy. That is your third place finisher, the 47 of Chris Gutierrez. Second place, Joe, we've seen him work his way through the field. Why don't you go ahead and take our second place finisher here tonight? That is the 24 of Francisco Villarreal.
Francisco,
yes, sir. Got a copy.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Looks like you came up just a couple laps short here tonight. How many more laps did you need to maybe get around the number 4 here tonight?
Honestly, with the way the cautions were falling, it would have been almost impossible, I think, for me. I think had I not spun out on lap 5 and gone back to 29th, I might have had a better shot. But with Tyler being in control of the restarts and it being a green-white checkered, I had to time that restart just perfectly, even stay in second. So honestly, with the conditions, I honestly need a long green flag run to even have a chance.
Yeah, it seemed like you were working that high side pretty well there, and we wondered if you could have got a good restart and could have been side by side with the 4 going into turn 1, that you may have something for him. But just the leaders all night were getting unbelievable jumps. I mean, even with the 94 was leading most of this, and then even when the 4 took over, the jumps that they were getting were just massive. Was it just that tough to time it, or what was the thought process to try to get a good jump here?
So right there, I noticed that everybody was going off early in the restart box, and I noticed that early on. And right there at the end, I tried to time it, but the issue is I was a little too far back, just from trying to maintain speed. And the other thing was the fact that obviously I'm not trying to jump it either because, you know, I'm in second place. If I get second, it's good. A win would have been better, but it was more of just me trying to play it a little too cautious instead of truly trying to send it and time it perfectly.
Yeah, we wondered if you know the aggressiveness would pick up because you don't have a win yet, and Tyler's already gotten 2 so far, 3 now. But how aggressive you guys would get with these leaders and try to knock yourselves into the playoffs as well.
Oh, for sure. I know. To get locked into the playoffs, I know that the next coming weeks are some of my favorite tracks, and as of right now, it's more of trying to gain points just in case, as you know, you could be great at some tracks and the unexpected happens. So I'd rather try to get secure points instead of risking and maybe taking us both out of the money as well as the points standing. So I'd rather try to get both of us in and race it out there at the end, play it a little safe. And today it cost me a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was just like last week. You had really good pace at Atlanta, and I think that late caution messed you guys up because you had to pit, I think, earlier than I think you wanted to. I think that was that last week. I can't remember now. But I mean, you showed speed here so far all season. It just, like you said, I feel like it's a matter of time before you get up there and get yourself a win and get yourself locked in too. Well, what tracks coming up are kind of your favorites here?
Favorite track of all time is going to be Dover. I love Dover with everything I have. Kansas is fun too. The only thing with Kansas is it's a little bit of a draft track. So you got that tight pack racing for a little bit. There's a lot of chances for something to happen. But it's a great track, great racing. But Dover, hands down, is my favorite track.
Well, after Dover is Talladega, so you know how things can go there. Anything is possible at that track. So one of these next couple races will probably get you into victory lane here. It sounds like Dover is your favorite track, so we'll be looking to see you try to maybe cash that in and get your first win of the season. But before we let you go, anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yes, I want to give a shout out to P1 Racing, always showing support, being part of their team. They're awesome. Michael Funkhauser, he's the one that introduced me to the league, got me in. I appreciate him. Tuckle's amazing racer. I've known him for a long time. And of course, Duke and everybody that put on these races. And shout out to you all for the broadcast. Absolutely amazing work. I've been enjoying my time with you all. And yeah, shout out to everybody, man. You all did an awesome job.
All right, we appreciate those words, man.
All right, that is your second place finisher. Second place finisher here tonight, the 24 of Francisco Villarreal. I think, possibly, we may have our leader here, our winner here tonight, the 4. And we'll try and bring him in here now. Tyler, this is Carl and Joe up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Hey, we finally get a chance to talk to you. I mean, we try to tell Big Dukes, and since you don't have a mic and you can't get in here for the interviews, it just tell you to stop winning so we don't have to worry about it. But apparently the message didn't get through. You grabbed your 3rd win here on the season. So talk to me about the race. Talk to me about the patience / the aggression that you need when you have a race like this with all these cautions.
Well, I mean, I kind of just was taking it easy on the tires because at the start, I was kind of going hard because I thought I was going to pit. And then until I realized I was going to be able to make it all the way, I started backing it down and I let the leader get out in front. And then he ended up pitting, and it was just stay in front for the rest of the race at that point.
Well, that was kind of the biggest question, the biggest head scratcher on the night is when we seen the 94 of Ituckles come into the pits. Were you ever having any kind of concerns about making it on fuel? Was there any time where you had to back off because you realized this thing might go all the way to the end?
Well, yeah, I didn't think I was going to be able to make it all the way until like 30 laps to go, and like around 30 to go is when I started backing it down, and then I just tried to stay out the whole time, and hopefully Tuckness would pit and I would get the lead, and that's how it worked out.
So, how stressful are these type of races here, where it's just caution after caution after caution, and you're in front, so you don't have to worry about kind of working your way through the disasters towards the back of the field, but you're having to worry about restart after restart after restart, and for a while you were trying to get those restarts, get those jumps with eye-tuckles and try and keep with them and try and make those passes, but then at the end you were with the control truck.
Yeah, I mean, when I was second, they're definitely a little bit more stressful, but it's earlier in the race, so I wasn't really worried, and I wasn't really being too aggressive. I was kind of just letting him have the lead for most of the time, but the races with more cautions, I feel like, are less stressful, honestly, and when I was the control truck, it's such an advantage here at Bristol that I wasn't really that stressed.
Well, your third win now on the season. I guess the first question is there a track that you're not looking forward to on the rest of the regular season, because you've been pretty dominant here so far?
I haven't really. Let's look at this. I haven't really looked too much, but I'm definitely looking. I was looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to Dover, Kansas. I'm not looking forward to Martinsville, I'll tell you that.
Does
that's
anybody?
not going to be good. or Richmond. Just the tracks that I feel like I'm really good at, like here, Kansas, Dover, and then I feel like I'm pretty decent in Texas. So probably those.
All right, well, we'll see what you can do for the rest of the season here. But I mean, 3 out of the first 5 races is pretty much as best a start as you can imagine, I would think here.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, well, congrats on the win here tonight, your third win on the season. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess Duke for making it, putting all this money into it. That's really awesome that he did that, and Keith. So it's really fun.
All right, well, it's been fun watching you guys battle up here all season long. Hopefully we see some more of that the rest of the regular season. But take some time to celebrate this, and we'll see you next week at Kansas.
All right, see you guys. Have a good night.
You too. That's your winner here tonight. 3-time winner on the season, the 4 of Tyler Helzel. Man, 5 races into the season, Joe. We're getting close. Only one more race. We'll already be at the halfway point of the regular season.
Yeah, and we're heading to my home track, Kansas. And these trucks always put on a good show there as well, as it's almost a wide open track for these trucks. That's how it kind of used to be. A little bit of tire wear, you got to worry about, but I wonder how it's going to be over this new build and how these trucks are going to, get around at Kansas. So definitely looking forward to that one. And we'll see if the 4 can, keep his dominance going, or if the 94 can kind of put it together like he did at Auto Club and have a whole race here and have something for him at the end. It'd be nice to watch some guys battle it out.
I mean, there's been so many guys so far this year that have had a chance to add a win and just kind of slipping through their fingers. Obviously, Francisco had a couple chances now and just finishing second here tonight. Chris Gutierrez has been up there a couple times now, grabs a podium here tonight, but he's been up there. Corey Sherman, we've seen the 3 up there. Captain Killam. I mean, you can name probably 6, 7, 8 guys that could very well have a win here on the season so far, but only 3 different winners here for the first 5 races. I want to send a shout out to all the fans out there watching. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, as we've got great racing all throughout the week. Obviously, tonight we typically have the doubleheader on Wednesday with CSRL in between seasons 9 and 10 right now, but should be starting up season 10 very soon, and we are back on board with them. So it'll be back to doubleheaders once again on Wednesday nights very soon. Send a thank you out to all the sponsors here in the series: Kohr Crabbing Supplies, Keep Digging, MVV Travel Co., Drop Gear Racing, GTR Simulator, Desert Rose Bow Company, Cookies for Kids, Cancer, and of course the title sponsor, KeithSaysYes.com, and certainly check them out in Hurricane, West Virginia, or Huntington, West Virginia. Mention the league, you get $1,000 off a new or used vehicle purchase as well. Thank you to my co-commentator here tonight, Joe Sullivan. Joe, it's been another fun one here tonight, but we'll have to wait until next week at Kansas. It's always a fun track to go to. I'm already looking forward to it. For Joe Sullivan and myself, Carl Handwork, we'll see you at the track.